Are you thinking about starting a virtual assistant business in 2020? Well, you're in the right place. I've got 10 steps to starting your own at-home virtual assistant business in this video. If you're brand new to my channel, I'm Abbey Ashley, founder of The Virtual Savvy. I help virtual assistants launch and grow their own business from scratch. And if you like what you see here, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and click the bell to be notified every single time I go live with more info on how to work from home. You know, I have thousands of students who go through my various programs, and I get stories of their successes, stories of the life change that has happened to them through starting a virtual assistant business. But there was one story that came through recently that really struck my attention. It was from a girl named Sarah. Sarah was working what she thought was her dream job. It was a full-time job doing music, which was her passion. However, she started to realize that the job was incredibly stressful. So stressful, in fact, that Sarah, who was pregnant at the time, ended up going into preterm labor. She had a baby at just 3 pounds, and that was a really big wake-up call to her that the stress of the job was just too much. Fast forward to today. Sarah is now a full-time virtual assistant taking care of not one healthy baby, but 2. She actually just welcomed a brand new 7-pound baby into her life, and she's so grateful for virtual assistants and the freedom lifestyle that she now gets to have, where she can work and she can be a mom to her 2 healthy babies. She decided she was going to take it upon herself to creatively carve her own path. She didn't just say this is the way life is always going to be. She decided she wanted to do something for herself. It's the reason I'm so passionate about virtual assistants. Virtual assistants is one of the best ways to start working online. So let me go ahead and share with you my 10 steps for starting your virtual assistant business if that's something you're looking to do in 2020. The first step is to really understand what a virtual assistant is. A VA, if you don't know the term already, is anyone who works in an administrative or a marketing capacity, but that work is done for small business owners in a totally remote environment. So yes, you'll be working from home. Yes, you can work in your pajamas, but most generally you'll be working as your own business owner. Now, there are some VA companies that will hire people to work from home as employees, but what I teach and what I love about this business is that you can do this all on your own. You can start your own virtual assistant business so you have the freedom and flexibility to work from home, work your own hours, work the schedule that you can with the skills that you already have. Step number 2 is to discover your skill set. If there's one thing I've learned after working with thousands of aspiring virtual assistants, it's that y'all are skilled. Seriously, you guys have so much talent, and what's amazing is that talent can be used by small business owners to help further their businesses. You may not think that it's a big deal that you can write a really good email. However, to the small business owner who is drowning in emails, it's a lifesaver. So what you'll want to do is discover your skills. What can you do that other small business owners need? Now, if you need some help with this topic, I do have a list of 101 services you can offer as a virtual assistant. I will put the link to that above this video and below in the text as well. Step number 3 in starting your own virtual assistant business in 2020 is to price and package your services. So I see a lot of people say, okay, Abby, I think that I can do this. I think I have the skills that it takes, but I have absolutely no idea how much I should price my services for. Well, at the end of the day, that does really depend on you, on how much money you want to make. I suggest people take a look at how much money they really want to be bringing in, and then take a look at how many hours you have to work in a week. And whenever you take those numbers, you can see, okay, well, if I have 10 hours a week to work and I want to make $300 a week, well, that's about a $30 an hour rate. Now, that doesn't mean that you always have to charge hourly. Let's say you're building a website for somebody. If that's a skill that you possess, you don't have to possess that skill, but let's say you're building a website for somebody and you're going to charge $3,000. Well, that doesn't mean that it has to take you 10 hours. If you complete that website in 5 hours, that's great. You've made more than your hourly rate. But it's just a good idea to go ahead and have a general hourly rate in your mind so that you can make those packages. Now, I will say this. As a virtual assistant, as a small business owner, you are an independent contractor, which means that you will be holding back some money for taxes, okay? Self-employment tax in the United States can be about 30% of your total income. So if you're charging $30 an hour, about 10 of that is going to need to be saved back for taxes. All that means is that you need to go ahead and factor planning for taxes into your hourly rate. Step number 4 is to create a brand that you and your clients will love. This is the fun part of your business. This is where you get to choose a name and some colors, a few different elements that are going to represent you and your business. And that's what I recommend. I recommend choosing something that resembles you. What are the colors that you love? A simple thing to do is to go on Pinterest. Let's say that you absolutely love the color teal. So you can type in teal branding board and you can start seeing just examples of different types of brands, logos, colors, different elements that are going to ultimately make what your brand is. Now, I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there because I know that virtual assistants tend to be perfectionists. What I will say is this. I want you to choose a deadline for choosing things like your name and your colors, your logo. I want you to choose a deadline for yourself. I usually give people 1 week. Say you have 1 week to mull over this because here's the thing. If you don't decide, you will get stuck on this fact. I see it happen all the time. People get stuck and they end up spending 3 months trying to figure out their logo when you could have been making money in that time, okay? So set a deadline for yourself. Go ahead and choose your name, your logo, the colors that you're going to use for your branding, and then move on. You can always come back and change it later if it really, really is bothering you and you're like, I have to change this. That's okay. But go ahead and make that decision in about a week's time so that you can move on with the next steps. Was I speaking to you right there? Like I said, a lot of VAs end up being perfectionists. Let me know if you're one of those perfectionist types, type A, or if you're a type B, hey, this is good, let's keep moving forward. I wanna know what type you naturally are in the comments. All right, here we are. Step 5 in starting your own virtual assistant business in 2020 is to understand your processes. Okay, so let's paint a scenario here. An email pops into your inbox, and it's that person that you met at a networking event a week ago. Oh my goodness, they want to hire you. Yes, your first client sitting right there in your inbox. Now what do you do? This is when it's so important to know your processes. How are you going to onboard clients? How are you going to bring them in? How are you going to get paid by them? How are you going to have a contract signed? And how are you going to work together? Are you going to meet once a week? How are they going to hand tasks off to you? How are you going to manage those tasks? Are you going to keep track of your time? If so, what tools are you going to use? I know this sounds like a lot, but these are the processes that you have to think through, and I recommend doing it before you get that first client, if at all possible. So think through your processes. How am I actually going to handle this client work? What standard hours am I going to work, etc. Know your processes, know the inner details of your business, and that is step 5. Step number 6 goes hand in hand with knowing your processes, but it really zeroes in and focuses on money. We want to be talking about money, right? So we're going to go ahead and assume that you're going to be making money in this business, or else it's just an expensive hobby. Let's just be honest about that. Okay, so you're going to be making money. What happens to that money? You'll definitely want to have a business bank account set up. You can usually get a business bank account if you have an EIN number. An EIN number is totally free to get. You can Google it. I'll put a link below on how to get that EIN number. But you want to have that so you can get a business bank account. You also want to have some sort of invoicing system. I love invoicing systems that set up reoccurring payments for your clients so you don't have to physically send an invoice. It just sends it to them automatically and they can pay it online. 2 of my favorite tools to be able to send reoccurring invoices would be Wave apps and Dubsado. So make sure you check out both of those programs. I'll have links to those below, but you need to have a good handle on your money, how it's going to be handled. Again, I recommend going ahead and automatically saving back 30% of all the money that comes into your business. Technically, you're saving 30% of your profit, so if you want to get more granular, you can do that. But 30% of that money needs to go into what I recommend, a business savings account. So go ahead and set up that business checking account and business savings account so you're ready for the money that's going to come in. Step number 7 to starting your own virtual assistant business is to have your legal requirements set up. Okay, if there's one thing I can say, please, 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 I'm begging, begging, begging you, please do not work without a contract. Guys, having a contract in your business is one of the most important things that you can do. It's going to keep you safe. It's going to protect you. It's going to protect your business, and it's going to protect your clients. Having a solid contract is so very important. So I recommend going ahead and making sure you have that contract in place. Now, if you are needing a contract, we do have one we sell on the site. You can use one that's not mine. I just want to make one available to you because it's that important. You can go to thevirtualsavvy.com/store and purchase our toolbox, our VA toolbox, which comes with that contract if you are needing one. What I recommend is having a contract for you and your client. Yes, it's an upfront business expense, but it's going to save you in the long run. While we're preparing for those legal elements in your business, I also recommend going to score.org. Score is an amazing resource, especially when you're ready to launch a business for the first time. You can figure out what some of the requirements may be where you live locally. People ask me all the time, Abby, do I need a business license or do I have to have an LLC where I'm living? Well, I normally don't advise on that because so much of it depends on where you live, the city, the county, the state that you live in. And Score is going to be able to tell you that information. They're going to be able to tell you, yes, in order to, work in blank city, you have to have a business license, or no, you don't need to have that. Different regulations that may be in place are more local. So I definitely recommend talking to somebody from Score to see if there's any other legal requirements that you need to be aware of. All right, we've made it to step number 8. Those of you who are on this step, I know that you are going to succeed in business because you've made it through 7 other steps to get to this point. But for me, this is the most fun. Step number 8 is when you decide to start marketing your business. Now, don't run away too quick. Marketing doesn't have to be scary. For most of my students, the very first client they get is somebody they already know. Now, no, you're not selling to your friends and family. This is not an MLM where you're selling candles or leggings or anything. What I'm asking you to do is think in your head right now, do I know one small business owner? Go ahead, think about it. Is one small business owner popping into your head? Maybe it's someone who owns a mom and pop shop or a restaurant or a nail salon or a plumber or a real estate agent. Do you know one small business owner? Yes? Well, just like you know one small business owner, pretty much everyone you know knows one small business owner. So one of the best things you can do for your business is just to start talking to people, just to tell others about what you're doing. Now, there are tons of ways to market your business. This is the simplest form, and I think it's one of the best things you can do in the beginning because it takes courage. It takes courage to say, hey, I'm a business owner. This is what I'm doing. So make sure you do that. It's a very important first step. It's literally just tell people, announce it on your Facebook page, reach out to a couple people, email anyone that is a small business owner that you do already know. Get the word out there. It's one of the most important things you can do. All right, step number 9, you're marketing. And once you start marketing, those clients are going to start coming in. So this is the place where I tell you to develop a website. A lot of people are like, wait, Abby, why do you develop a website after you've been marketing and getting clients? Isn't that something you should do beforehand? I have a theory. So I have a theory that you shouldn't create a website until you've gotten your very first client. And this is why. Just like we talked about in the logo and the branding section, You can get so caught up in the details when it comes to creating a website. I see it happen time and time again. People get so caught up in creating their website that they spend months and months doing it and never get a paying client. I am all about making you money, and I hope that you are too. So let's not get caught up in the details. If you have a domain and you want to go ahead and purchase that www.whatever your domain is.com, go ahead and do that. You can have it direct to a Facebook page or just to a coming soon page. That's fine. The best way to get clients is through that personal touch, and it's not necessarily a website that's going to get you there. Networking meetings, talking to people, a couple other strategies that we teach inside of some of my programs. This is the most important part, okay? Having a website is important, but I recommend to wait until you have your first client in order to set up that website, okay? All right, you've made it to step number 10. You have clients coming in, you are working with them, and step number 10 is simply to scale your business. And that's gonna look different for every individual. It's one of my favorite things about virtual assistants is that it's a lifestyle business. It's not necessarily you have to fit your lifestyle to the demands of a VA business. It's that the VA business gets to meet the demands of your life. Do you wanna work 40 hours a week? Great. Do you want to have an office that you rent that you go into every day? That's fine. You want to work at home in your pajamas while your 2-year-old is taking a nap? That's great too. You get to design this business and scale it to your needs. That may look like hiring a team of subcontractors to help you with some of the work. It may mean continuing to raise your prices and develop high-end packages that you're charging $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month for. How you progress your business is up to you. The final phase of launching your virtual assistant business is to continue to grow it, to scale it, to meet the needs of you and your family. I hope this video has been helpful for you. I am so passionate about virtual assistants so people like Sarah can have an alternate way to make money working from home. Now, if you've really enjoyed this video, we do have our Savvy System program coming up soon. It's a program, it's my signature program to teach people how to become virtual assistants. I only launch it 2 times a year, and that launch is coming up soon. So you can go to thevirtualsavvy.com/waitlist and get on the waitlist to join our Savvy System program. I'd love to have you in it. It's a step-by-step system, everything we've talked about here, but it's the how to do each one of these steps. So we've had thousands of students already come into the program, and I'd love to have you join us as well. Make sure you jump on that waitlist. I will link to it below this video. Forgot to do so before, make sure that you like this video and subscribe to my channel so I can know that I should make more content just like this, that this is what you want to hear about from me. And you can let me know in the comments what you learned from today's video. I would love to hear from you. Here's to continuing to support you on your journey. Have a good one. Bye.